What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy Cal Life here, bringing you another Yu-Gi-Oh! Masters video. And today we are very excited because I have been playing Sword Soul, and oh my god, this deck is still so good, man. We've been playing it obviously in the World Championship 2023 qualifiers. Now I have reached level 19 with this deck. This deck at one point yesterday went 17-4, so we were doing really good. We did take a few losses after that, but for the most part, like, we were going crazy with this deck on stream, right? So anyways, I do have some replays from my stream of showing those off. But this is a deck that we're playing, so I decided I wanted to go with a more going Tekken Sword Soul build. I know if you've seen Pax videos, he's been using a lot of Protoss Turbo. I don't feel like burning an extra 60 UR points into 3 copies of Protoss because I just don't have it, right? But I am playing the 2 copies of DD Crow, and the reason I'm playing 2 copies of DD Crow is I got really tired of seeing 3 in my hand at one point. But we are playing 2 copies of Adhara, 3 Maxis, 1 Shatana, 3 Moyes, and then 2 copies of Taya. Now we do only play 2 copies of Ecclesia and 2 copies of Long Yun, while playing 3 copies of Vishuddha and 3 copies of Ashina to maximize our scene of them. We also played 1 Protoss, and then finally 3 copies of Dark Ruler No More. Now, I would make a case that you could play 3 Triple Tactics. I don't have a 3rd one, so I'm only playing 2. We are playing Sword Soul Emergence at 3, and then finally Crossout Designator at 1, along with the 2 Heavenly Dragon Circle. This card is basically a Protoss finder for you if you don't have a Synchro Monster to get it off of the Emergence, or if you just don't open it up like immediately, right? Another thing we're playing is 3 Evenly Matched, and then finally 2 Imperms and 1 Blackout. Now for my extra deck, I went ahead and changed up the little things. I am playing 1 Yazi, 1 Crimson, 2 Boxias, 1 Draco, 1 Ryzen, and then 2 copies of Chizal, 1 Chaofeng, 1 Baron, and 1 Sinister, and 1 Sovereign, Changing, and then finally 2 Monks and 1 Shaman. Now you could argue that you could play Ice Jade Grimmer, and in my IRL deck I really do play Ice Jade Grimmer. The problem is I don't have the card, so yeah, we can't play it, right? It wasn't blessed. Another thing is, if you wanted to, you could drop the Crimson Blader and then play something else, but it's really up to you. Or you could drop the Yazi. I think that this is probably like the best way to play the deck, honestly. I think that this deck is just absolutely outstanding. You could also play Psychic and Punisher if you wanted to as well, but at that point it comes out to what are you willing to replace. Right now I'm not really willing to replace anything. I think this is just fine the way it is. But anyways, guys, this is what we have. Hopefully you guys do enjoy the video, and if you can, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and also just go ahead and comment Sword Soul best deck. You know, I would really appreciate that. Hit that comment. Let's boost my algorithm again, you know? All right, let's get into it. And it looks like we're going against a Sprite player, as they have the Sprite Blue, which is pretty cool. They're going to go ahead and start off with their normal combos, going into Gigantic. From the Gigantic, they are then going to go ahead and get a Blue off. So, ooh, is that a Royal Finish? I think it is. Yeah, Royal Finish Blue. From there, they go Swap Frog. And I think what I really like about this event is I was expecting to see mostly tiers. People are willing to play whatever they want in this event, and I think that's really cool, because when you're like literally playing ranked mode on Master Duel, it's literally just tier event format and anti-tier event format, and I think it's really nice that, you know, people are trying to play other decks. So that's really cool. As you guys can see, they're gonna go into a mask here. From the mask, they're gonna go ahead and grab Jet, grab the starter. And I think their biggest mistake here, honestly, you're going to see is not them going into Carrot, because Carrot could have stopped a lot of things for them. But I mean, it wouldn't be the most things, because we can still play, but like, yeah. Anyways, here they go. They're gonna go into their Melfi package. So not only do they have Melfi the Forest, but they also have Melfi Caddy. I decide I'm gonna go ahead and go into battle phase, right? Because we have Evenly Matched and the card is broken. I expected them to use Sprite Starter like literally here, but they still never used it, which was really interesting to me. So they do make an Abramax. They grab the Jet. At this point I was wondering if they were playing Carrot, but once again they never did it. So anyways, They leave us with Abramax, and honestly, Abramax is usually an issue, but I have an out to this, right? So we're gonna go ahead and activate Moye. From there, we're going to go ahead and get me a token onto the field. Obviously, the Maxi is kicked in, but we're gonna go play through it because I just believe that, like, even though we don't have a battle phase, we can still win this game potentially just off of one card alone. So I'm willing to go ahead and risk it. Plus, we do draw an Imperm and we get an Emergence. We're gonna activate our Emergence just to see if they have anything. They had no Ash, which means, yep, you guessed it, easy cooks right here. Let's go. Activate the Long Yun. We're gonna get a token. We're gonna go into Sword So Sinister. This card is a killer for this deck, by the way, just a killer. Then we're gonna activate our Triple Tactics to actually grab his Abramax. Now I know we can't attack, but we're gonna use it to go ahead and make a Protos, lock Dark, and then finally we're gonna activate set 2 cards, which is Imperm and Heavenly. So at this point, it's probably GG's. They're gonna go ahead and activate Deep Sea Diva. We're gonna go ahead and negate that, and I think from there they end up scooping as they have no more plays. Oh no, they're gonna activate the Rotonin, yeah, and then they're gonna use the Sprite Starter. We're gonna go ahead and actually hit that Sprite Starter. I don't want that in the graveyard because that's just like a free like Gamma. What is it called? Is it Gamma Burst? I can't even remember, man. Let's see. It's just like free. But anyways, here comes Sky Cavalry. From there, they realized it was GG's because I already negated their monster, and then on top of that, like I would have just hit them with Sinister when they summoned out their what's it called. So yeah, it was just GG's, man. Let's move on to the next one though. All right, round 2, and we are going first. So we're gonna activate the Moye, obviously. Let's get our token onto the field. From there, we're gonna go into our big boy Chaizao. This card is just so cool to me, man. I really like the way this card looked, and I know what you guys are thinking, like, okay, why are you always playing Sword So? Bro, this is my favorite deck, okay? Besides for Branded, this deck is my favorite deck, and I think my third favorite deck. It's probably what it was, Photons, Galaxy Dragon. You know, the Photon deck, Photon Galaxy Dragon, yeah, like that. I love those decks, but this is definitely one of the most competitive along with Branded, and Photon Galaxy Dragon is not. Galaxy Eyes, right? So anyways, they're gonna summon out Agito. They're gonna get the Gravekeeper's Trap. We're not really worried about this. I'm actually really happy he's milling our cards because we locked Dark on him, right? So from here, he's gonna go into Baguska. He's actually gonna put Baguska into defense, which was kind of crazy because I thought he would attack us because we would have no way of actually stopping the Baguska at that point. But anyways, we're gonna go ahead and get the Munkatengi onto the field. Sorry about that yawn. That yawn was crazy. We're gonna get the Ashina, and at this point, my chat was like, "Hey, why didn't you just bounce? Why did you just go into and lock him out of light?" And I was like, "Cause I really didn't need to, because I had a way of literally just bouncing this back, and once we bounce that back, we just go for game, you know, like so it's just GG's." Sorso just kind of doing this thing. So let's get on to the round 3. All right, so here we are going to be going first. We're going to activate the Vashuda. That way we can summon out a Munkatengi off of that. And then from there, we can use the Taya to get rid of the Vashuda. That way we can get a token. However, they are going to activate Havernus. Havernus is then going to get changed by our Maxi. Let's go, Maxi. Maxi be coming in clutch. Like, honestly, this is the only time I really like Maxi is against Tearlaments, because of how annoying this deck is that it can just play on your turn. So they're gonna use the Agito. Agito is going to mill. They're gonna actually end up hitting 2 tiers, Merely and Sharon. They're gonna go ahead and I think they make a Rook, if I remember correctly, which is then going to they're gonna make a Kaleido. So the Kaleido will bounce me, but that's okay because that one draw like literally drew me into what I needed. So from here, I'm gonna actually take their Kaleido, and then we can use Heavenly Dragon Circle that they milled to get me a Ashina. Then I can use Emergence. Emergence grabs our Long Yun. So at this point, they are pretty screwed, man. They don't even realize. They're like, okay, well, why did he take my card? You're gonna find out. It's gonna be used as a Protos target. That's why I like triple tactics the most. It's like I just turn their card into a Protoss target, and then you banish it, right? So as you guys seen, we did it to the Abramax, but we're gonna do it again here. From there to Chizao, we're gonna get ourselves a Baron de Fleur. Now Baron is here. We have really nothing to worry about. You know, just like when All Might like appears on the screen and stuff. Like, don't worry, because I'm here. Yeah, well, Protoss is here now too, bro. So they just end up scooping, and this is why it's so hard to show these videos, because like Tearlaments can't do anything against Protoss, and you locking them out, and that's really good because everybody hates Tearlaments. So yeah. All right. So this time we are going to immediately get D-shifted, right? And I'm just like, okay, well, this can only be one or two decks. It's either Floowandereeze, technically three, right? But it's either Flunder, it's either Gotti, or it's got to be Flu. So I decided I'm just gonna go ahead and summon out this. We're gonna activate our Ecclesia. We're gonna go ahead and activate Moye. We're gonna reveal, right? And we're just gonna play through. The unfortunate side of the thing about this is that, like, because our Source Soul cards are not going to the graveyard, we are not getting its like effects. So I can't just draw one. I could at least add our Emergence, and then from there I'm gonna have to add the Longyun. If you're wondering like, hey, why didn't you go into Protoss? Well, there's literally no way for me to get Protoss onto the field at this point, right? Because we have nothing in the graveyard. So we're just gonna go Baron. From there, I'm gonna go ahead and pop the back row. We find out that it is a Macrocosmos, and they're just gonna go ahead and draw. They are gonna activate a barrier statue. I'm gonna negate this card of Demise because I just don't want them to get three. So it looks like we are playing one very bad day deck, and we just end up beating them. So let's get into the next one. All right. So on this one, we are going to be going second, and it looks like we're playing Set 5 Pass. They do have a Stormy Mirror Force, so I already know that this is a very interesting deck. We are going to activate our Evenly Match. They're going to Solemn us, unfortunately. Like, I was telling my chat, I was like, bro, most likely they have Solemn, right? They always have Solemn. It's crazy. But anyways, yeah, so at this point, I'm like, let's just go activate our Emergence here. Let's grab the Longyun. And this way we can go into Ecclesia. I know that Protoss is not going to be too useful here because they're probably not going to be special summoning much, right? But once I saw this, I knew that this was going to be Lab, because only Lab really runs Compulsory Evacuation Device. So from here, we're going to go into Chizao and then activate the Chizao's ability, grab the Moye ability to draw one. But this time we're not going to add a card. We're going to actually banish our Blackout. This way we can go into a bigger play. We're going to send that back to the hand. From here, go into a Baron. Now we only have to deal with two cards. And on top of that, they only have 2800. We do get rid of this card, which is Moon Mirror Shield, which is really good for us. And I think they end up scooping here as they just don't have anything else that they could have done. So yeah, we're just going to activate this, pop this card. And it was a Regeki. Like, this way you knew they just gave up, because it's just like, what am I supposed to do at this point? They didn't even bother trying to activate the Regeki. That means they truly bricked in their hand as well. But anyways, let's get into the last duel of the day. All right. So last duel of the day, we're going to start off with summoning Vashuda. We're going to activate the Ecclesia. They are going to be playing Tearlaments, so this is like really good for you guys to watch. We are going to Max C him. So with this Max C, we're going to be able to draw. However, they are still going to be able to mill. And it looks like they're playing like Tearlaments Notoria, which was really weird to me, because I don't really think that this deck works. Well, I mean, let them cook, I guess, right? So from here, we're gonna get a Kick Kalos onto their field, but they actually give us a DD Crow, which is hilarious, right? They're gonna go ahead and toss out the Sharon. They're gonna activate Sharon. We're gonna DD Crow that card. We're not even gonna bother dealing with this. So if you guys didn't know, anytime we go into a extra deck monster, they can summon out Cricket. So here comes our extra deck monster. So Cricket will summon itself, allowing him to make some more plays off of this, which I'm still completely fine with, because at this point they're gonna go ahead and give us a tuner, and we draw into another DD Crow, which is wild. Maxi is just such a broken card. Please ban that card. Master Duel, if you're listening, please. And I know you're not listening, but please ban Maxi, bro. That card gotta go. Anyways, look at this. They're gonna get the Sunflower, and then from there they're gonna get a Camilla. I'm gonna activate triple tactics to take the Camilla because of the fact that like Sunflower can only activate if they have another the target monster. And then we're gonna use their Camilla and my Longyun to make a Sinister. And then from there, we're gonna activate the power of Heavenly. We're gonna grab myself a Longyun, right? And then on top of that, we're gonna go ahead and grab the Protos. Now, the biggest mistake I made is I wanted to use use the Heavenly to go ahead and summon out the Longyun, but then I forgot I need to tribute a Monk. So that really messed me up at that point. Or a non-effect monster, right? But anyways, we still locked them out of Dark. They're gonna go ahead and mill, but they can't really do anything here. At this point, we can actually use Sinister to pop their Sulliek and banish it, which is absolutely broken. So not only do they lose their Sulliek in the graveyard, but they also lose 1200. And this is still turn 1. They're down to 5600 life points. All right, so they are taking a beating right now. Here comes the Rook. Now at this point, Rook is gonna try to activate his effect, but because Sinister is on the field first, that can resolve on its summon. And then from here, we can just go to activate the Ashuna. We can grab ourselves a Boxia. And if you were wondering, like, hey, Cal, why didn't you go into Draco Berserker, right? The reason is I locked out Dark, so I literally could not because of Protos. And I just didn't want to keep a token on the field just in case I had to evenly match. Because if they evenly match me with that token, I got to lose everything but my token. So anyways, here comes the Camilla. They're gonna get their field spell. I'm actually going to negate their Sunflower right here. They're gonna activate Mo Cricket, which is a-okay for me. They can go ahead and do that. That's fine. They're gonna go ahead and get their Mo Cricket. I don't know where the other Camilla was, so it's kind of weird. They're gonna activate Primitive, but now we can activate Sinister. Sinister can then go ahead and hit that card for another 1200 and get rid of the field spell. So not only did they lose a Sulliek, but they lost their Rook, and they also lost their Sheeran, right? So they lost Sheeran, Rook, Primitive, and Rook Cat, and what's the trap card called? Y'all know. But anyways, they decided to just go ahead and crash and end game. It's really good. If you want to go ahead and follow me on Master Duel, my followers need to get up there. I'm still just a beginner duelist, if you guys did not know. But yeah, guys, thank you all for tuning in. Hopefully you guys did enjoy the video. It's really hard to show like a lot of tier limit matches because once you summon Protos and they don't have Havinus, like you kind of just lock them out and they just scoop like turn 1. So I didn't even bother including those into the replays. But yeah, man, thank you all for being here. Enjoy your day. Peace.